My name is Nick Dellelce.
My name is Eder Leora.
My name is Joaquin Lopez.
My name is Alex Little, and this episode is on the hidden power of gossip, sponsored by Cash or Belinda. So imagine it's the 1980s at Intel. Officially, everything seems fine. But unofficially, around water coolers and inside conversations, engineers and mid-level managers are worried. They gossip about declining memory chip quality, about cheaper Japanese competitors taking over the market. Leadership wasn't yet sounding the alarm. It was through informal conversations, gossip, that employees built an underground consensus. Intel needed to radically change course. That early gossip eventually pressured executives to make the bold pivot from memory chips to microprocessors, a move that saved Intel and reshaped the tech industry. Intel's story shows us gossip isn't just idle chatter, it can be a hidden early warning system that saves organizations. Now normally, gossip is seen as toxic, something that fractures teams, erodes trust, and damages culture. We're told to avoid it at all costs in professional settings. But what if that's just all wrong? Research shows that gossip can actually strengthen workplace relationships, build cooperation, and even enhance trust when used the right way. Rather than seeing gossip as a threat, organizations might need to start viewing it as a powerful tool.
Now let's move on to some evidence. Let's first look at some research by Feinberg, Willer, and Schultz. They studied how gossip and ostracism solved the cooperation problem. In a public goods game, participants could gossip about selfish players and kick them out. What was the result? Groups that allowed gossip and ostracism saw cooperation levels jump dramatically from around 50% to over 80%. People changed their behavior immediately just from the threat about being gossiped about. Second, Wu, Bayliet, and Van Lang found that gossip also helps people identify trustworthy individuals in groups where direct monitoring isn't possible. Gossip spreads reputational information that deters bad behavior and builds trust. And surprisingly, gossip is mostly reliable. People generally won't lie in gossip when there's nothing personal to gain because spreading falsehoods can hurt their own reputation too. Finally, Testori, Hemmerich, and Biersma found that gossip only promotes cooperation when it's pro-socially motivated. So, if gossip is shared to help others, like warning about someone who's consistently unreliable, like a coworker, it can actually lead to stronger teams. But gossip just for personal gain or attacks, that still damages trust.
Now for implications, we must ask, what does this mean for organizations? First, we need to reframe gossip as an early warning system, not just a threat. Intel's story showed how informal conversations surface critical problems before leadership caught on, and your organization can do the same. Second, it's crucial to distinguish between pro-social gossip and destructive gossip. Pro-social gossip sounds like,
"Hey, just a heads up, Sam missed 3 deadlines this month."
destructive gossip sounds like,
"Did you hear what Kasha did at the party?"
one helps people make better decisions, the other just tears people down. Managers should train themselves to listen carefully. If gossip points to fairness issues or emerging problems, it's valuable. If it's personal attacks, it's a red flag for moral damage. Finally, leaders should actively collect patterns from informal conversations. Repeated whispers about missing tools, delayed clients, or unfair practices aren't just noise, they're data. And just like Intel's pivot, the sooner leadership acts on those informal signals, the stronger the organization can become.
So you look at all this, right, and you gotta say that gossip isn't just, entertainment. It's not just you saying whatever with your friends, but it's information. It tells us who people trust, what problems they see, and where the cooperation within a team is breaking down. So instead of shutting gossip down automatically, organizations need to understand what gossip is telling them. It tells us the signals that employees are sending, the underlying cultural problems or opportunities that aren't completely upfront. So, a strong organization doesn't just manage what they hear in their meetings, but they also got to listen to what's said between and outside of these meetings. And handled well, gossip is not a threat. Rather, it's a launch pad for positive improvements in your organization. Thank you for listening to this episode.